Hello, hello, everyone. This is Kitty Shambliss of Loving Without Boundaries. Happy Friday to all of you. I am delighted to be here with you. And for anyone who is seeing this outside of Facebook, just know that you can become part of our online community if you are looking for like-minded people who are also looking to color outside the lines of heteronormative monogamy. If you go to Facebook and do a search for Loving Without Boundaries, Healthy Open Relationships and Lifestyle Freedom, we are happy to welcome you into our world over there. And if you're already seeing us in that group, we want to say we are glad that you are here. We are almost 15,000 people strong, which is absolutely incredible. We are glad that you are here getting the support that you need. So I have a great topic for you today, just talking about a lot of people are looking for help. They are looking for counseling, for guidance, for support, and are seeking outside help for the challenges that they are facing if they are practicing ENM, which stands for ethical non-monogamy, or CNM, which stands for consensual non-monogamy, or polyamory, relationship anarchy. Whether that's you, or maybe you've been presented with a situation where that's what your partner wants to do. Your partner is wanting to practice that, and you're thinking, I don't know how I'm going to deal with the jealousy. I don't know how I'm going to deal with the insecurity and the fears and the anxiety. Maybe you're having panic attacks. So that's what I hear every day when I talk to people. So how do you pick a coach? There are so many people out there. There are also therapists, there's counselors, there's coaches. And I will let you know that that it is important to find the right professional, the right mentor for you. And just to keep it real here, I started this work about a decade ago. And at the time, there were very, very few, if any, coaches that specialized in non-traditional alternative relationships. And also, there were not hardly any therapists or counselors who were trained in how to handle ENM relationships, alternative relationships, or let alone were practicing. And just to help you understand, there are ways as coaches where people can just simply say, hey, I'm a coach. They can just decide they're a coach and start a business without actually having any real training. And so it's important that you learn to ask the right questions. And that's what I had to do when I was learning to figure out, how can I show up to serve my people, to really help my clients at the highest level. So I went out there and I got the certifications, I got the education on top of the real world experience. So I'm going to give you some things to think about when you are looking for a coach. So the first thing is, a lot of coaches, they may have one of two skill sets. They may understand a little bit of strategy, maybe some tools, some techniques, and they may understand a little bit of psychology. But there's a difference between just understanding a little bit of theory and also getting to a place of mastery and also having a structure and a system. And that is what I offer, is a step-by-step process and a program. But let me give you some questions. So at the end of the day, what you're looking for is results. So, number one, a great question to ask is, have they created the outcome that you want for themselves? Yes or no? And this is a question that you can be asking them directly. Like, are they in a healthy, non-traditional relationship? So that's the first question. Maybe they are not, maybe they might have some failed relationships, or just some different things that you need to understand where they're actually coming from. And then the second question is whether they have a solid, healthy relationship themselves that's untraditional. Have they been able to create results for other people? Are they a good coach? Do they understand how to teach, how to lead, how to guide? Do they have case studies? Do they have testimonials? Yes or no? Because sometimes people might be literally just starting out. They don't have any real world experience. So it's unproven if they can actually help other people to not only have a healthy relationship themselves, but help others to know how to handle tricky and complicated non traditional relationships. And then number three, Have they been doing it for a long period of time? Did they open up shop last month, last year, or have they been doing this for a decade or 2 decades? Like, what is their lived experience in helping other people live their most authentic lives? Because that's where you can really evaluate a coach and the quality, because a lot of coaches haven't done it for themselves. They only have a little bit of theory. And then you have other people who maybe have created a healthy relationship themselves, but they haven't done it for other people. And those are some really important things to be thinking about. And then, of course, there's also the length of time. Like, how long have they been coaching? How long have they been in a healthy relationship? So, just to give you an example, I also hear a lot of time, oh, open relationships don't work. They don't last. And so, I'm going to debunk that here on this Facebook Live too. This live streaming, which is I've been with my husband for 21 plus years. That's over 2 decades. We've been married for almost 18 years. It'll be in just a couple weeks. So that's close to 2 decades that we have been married in an untraditional style relationship. And I've been with my other partner for almost 9 years this fall, and he's been living with us. We all live under the same roof for 8 years now. Excuse me, 8 years now. So that's really incredible, just to be able to illustrate to you that yes, open untraditional relationships can work. They can stand the test of time if you have the right tools and you have the right guidance. And you can think of a coach as closing the gap from where you are now to where you ideally want to be, and doing that with the least amount of suffering as possible and compressing time. So, again, those questions were, have they created the results that you want for themselves? Have they created the results that you want for other people? And have they been doing it for a long time? Both the coaching, their craft, and have they been in those relationships for a long time? And then the last thing is they've got to care about you as a human being, heart to heart, person to person, mind to mind, because sometimes you might get a unicorn coach that might have a great skill set, a great mindset, but maybe they're not really there for you. They might be about getting on the big stages or making another sale, making the next enrollment, right? But we really need to understand that a coach needs to be in your corner. You need to know that they will be there, they've got your back, and that they will be there for you. So, those are some great questions to ask. And a lot of people might be asking, how does a coach get trained? How are they certified? Now, first of all, there are a lot of people out there that are stating they're a coach, because a coach is an unregulated industry, and anyone can say they are a coach, put it on their business card, and they may not have any actual training. So I have been trained through the ICF, which stands for the International Coaching Federation. So they're literally a global unit that certifies coaches. They have a very regimented process, and there are people that don't have any certifications at all. And then with the ICF, there is 3 different levels. So just to give you an idea, here's some statistics. In 2022, out of members in the ICF, the International Coaching Federation, which in my opinion is the only coaching community that's really regimented and worth a darn, if you don't mind my French, out of over 50,000 members, only about 2,000 members were holding any credential at all. So there was a lot of members there who didn't actually have any certification. And then out of the ones that were certified, about 56% were at the lowest level, the ACC, which is the Associate Certified Coach level. You only need about 100 hours of coaching experience at that level. Then about 40% were at the next level up, which is PCC. That stands for Professional Certified Coach. You only need about 500 hours, which is not much when you think about it, to be at that level. And only 4% were at the highest level, the MCC, which stands for Master Certified Coach. To get a master certified coach level, you need 2,500 hours of live coaching experience. And with actual live clients where you're getting them results, you need to pass a test and over and over again to get to these different levels. And you also have to have been getting consistent training over the years and prove that the training that you got was of high caliber. And that's what I can say is an absolute honor and privilege to say that I'm at that master level now since October 12th of 2023, which happens to be my mother's birthday. So it's always easy to remember. And that there are only 1,075, with me being one of them, master level coaches last time I checked in the entire world. That's it. And as far as I know, I believe I am the only master certified level coach who is in this space. When I say this space, I mean somebody who is serving the community of those who are practicing ethical and consensual non-monogamy. And just to summarize the work that I do, I help people to live their most authentic lives, free from shame and guilt, free from jealousy and insecurity, and also free from the pain of ongoing infidelity, which, let's face it, that happens every day in the open relationship and sex positive space, so that people feel unstoppable. They fall back in love with themselves and really give them their confidence, their mojo, all of that back. And it is an absolute honor and a privilege to be able to do this work and to be able to have these different certifications to be able to serve at a high level. Earlier this year, I also even got trauma informed certification, because so many of the people that I serve, it's unfortunate and sad but true, have been in a place where they have had sexual trauma, they've had relationship trauma. Maybe they were in a past relationship with somebody with narcissistic tendencies. Maybe they were cheated on in the past. Maybe they were the cheater. And I say that, honestly and without judgment, because I am a former cheater myself. So there is a lot of trauma that people that I work with need to rise above. So I went and also got trauma informed certification so that I can be trauma sensitive and really hold that space for people. And I've also survived my own bouts of trauma. So I deeply, deeply understand how, if we have that unresolved trauma, those patterns can repeat themselves over and over and over again. And unfortunately, we can bring that trauma with us into these relationships, and we can become trauma bonded and start to recreate that pain and that suffering, partly because it feels so familiar from your past. And you may think that that's the only way that you can be in relationships. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be like that. You can get the guidance, the support, the skill set to be able to heal from the past and create a better tomorrow, and do it now. So I've been doing this a really long time. I've been doing this longer than almost anybody that I know in this space, and at a master's level certified coaching trauma informed way. So I have the formal education and at that high expertise. And that is only 0.1%, by the way, of all coaches. Just so I give you that stat too. It's a crazy amount of hours to get to that level. And at this point, by the way, I remember I told you that it takes 2,500 hours to get to that master's level certification. At this point in my career, it is such an honor to have served hundreds and hundreds of people in this space. And I now have over 7,500 hours of coaching lovely, amazing people like the beautiful folks that I get to serve in the Loving Without Boundaries community. And that is because of the heart and the dedication and the courageous, brave human beings who raise their hand and come into my world saying, look, I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to solve the debilitating jealousy, the deep-seated anxiety, the panic attacks, or how to release the shame and guilt that is coming up for me when I am exploring consensual non-monogamy. I don't know how to fix this. I need help. And so I honor those courageous and amazing souls who want to heal the past, get the skill set, the confidence, the inner strength that they need here in the present, and want to get outside help working with a professional who really, truly cares about them as a human being so that they can live their most authentic lives, and people who want to get better results in less time. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about getting results. It's not just about having a nice conversation and feeling good for 5 minutes or 50 minutes. It's about getting results into the long term so that you can live your best in your most authentic life, free from jealousy, insecurity, or having the tools to know how to handle when that comes up, free from shame and guilt, learning to release that. You don't need to feel that. There are ways to move through that very, very quickly, and free from any unnecessary suffering if there is unresolved trauma, if there is the pain of past cheating, whether it's yours or somebody else's in your relationships. You don't have to stay in that suffering. And ask me how I know, because I've lived this myself. I've navigated up and out of depression, which I suffered from for about 5 or 6 years. I've navigated out of jealousy and insecurity. I've learned to raise my confidence in open relationships, and I'm paying it forward and turning around and helping beautiful, courageous, brave folks like you who want to build resilience, who want to get the help that you need in less time and live and thrive in your relationships. Because at the end of the day, I really truly believe that when you improve the quality of your most cherished relationships, you are going to improve the quality of your entire life. I believe that with my whole heart and soul. And I know that you do too, because we all know that when we are on our deathbed, we're not going to be thinking about the cars or the couches or the money that we made or possibly even our jobs, right? We're going to be thinking about the loved ones, the family we created, our deep connections, our intimate friendships, the polycule, the intimate network that we've built, building a modern family, raising our children and giving them the skills that we've learned and passing that down, also changing generational trauma. That's what this work is about too, because there can be decades and generations of shame and guilt about being sex positive in a sex negative world. We can pick that up through religion and so many other ways. So know that you don't have to go this alone. You can have less fear, more joy, and better results in your relationships. And I truly, honestly believe that. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Annette, for what you said. Just so true that you love this. Whatever part of what I was saying, just knowing that your intimate relationships are so incredibly important to your own happiness and your well-being. Thank you for saying that, Annette. I really appreciate you being here and listening to this presentation. So if that is you, if you are looking for help in your relationships, in your life, especially if you are coloring outside the lines of heteronormative monogamy, know that you do not have to go this alone. If you want to have a conversation to see if maybe working with a coach who's maybe at that master's level and has lived the talk, they really walk the walk and talk the talk and are living that life, I invite you to go to this link, lovingwithoutboundaries.com/apply. That takes you right into my calendar, and you'll simply pick a time that works for you. There'll be a very brief form to fill out that gives me some context for our conversation before we get onto that call, so I can get to know you a little bit better. We can really hit the ground running. And on that call, we'll put our heads together and see how I can help you and come up with a game plan to do just that, to give you the love, the support, the guidance that you need. And if we are not a fit to work together or the timing isn't quite right, you have my word that I will let you know that, so that you get a lot of clarity and value from our time together, and know that I really care about you and your success. So if that is you, please feel free to go to that link. Again, it's lovingwithoutboundaries.com/apply. And either way, I wish you a happy Friday, a wonderful weekend, and all the best. And again, if you are looking for a community, feel free to go onto Facebook and do a search for Loving Without Boundaries, Healthy Open Relationships and Lifestyle Freedom. And I will talk to you next time. Okay, take care.